As we grow older, our lives change in beautiful ways, and so do our bodies. Our hearts may carry more wisdom, our laughter may hold deeper meaning, and our eyes may shine with the experience of decades. Yet in the middle of all these changes, one part of our daily lives often gets left behind: the blouses hanging in our closets. We keep wearing them because they feel familiar, because they remind us of the past, or simply because they have been with us so long we no longer question them. But here is the gentle truth. Sometimes these same blouses are quietly working against us. Welcome to Golden Elder Days, where beauty grows deeper with time and wisdom walks hand in hand with style. I am so glad you are here with me today. This is a space created for women who know that style is not about chasing every new trend, but about choosing what honors who we are now. Today, we will explore 7 blouse mistakes that women over 60 should stop making right now. Not because you need to impress anyone, but because small choices can bring out your elegance, your vitality, and your true presence. Each mistake we will uncover has a simple solution, and those solutions can lift your confidence in ways you may not expect. Have you ever put on a blouse that once made you feel radiant, only to notice it no longer has the same effect? Perhaps it feels a little shapeless, or maybe the color seems to drain the light from your face. You are not imagining it. What suited us in our 40s or 50s does not always serve us in our 60s. And that is not a problem. It is an opportunity. So let me ask you, how old are you today, and where are you joining us from? I would love to know, and I encourage you to leave a comment below with your age, your city, or even just type the number 1 to let me know you are listening. Sharing your story may inspire another woman who reads it. And while you are here, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Golden Elder Days, and turn on notifications. That way, you will never miss these weekly conversations about style, beauty, and the deeper joys of aging with grace. Now, let us begin by looking at the most common blouse mistake that quietly takes away from your elegance. Let us begin with the first blouse mistake, one that many women over 60 quietly slip into without even realizing it: oversized and shapeless fits. Now, why do we choose them? Often it is comfort. Sometimes it is modesty. Other times it is simply habit. We think, if it covers more, it must be helping us. But have you ever wondered if those loose blouses are really serving you? I once met a woman named Linda who retired after a long career. She told me she filled her closet with baggy tops because they felt safe. She thought they made her look relaxed. Yet after a while, she confessed that she felt almost invisible. People noticed her blouse, but not her. She said, "It is like I disappeared inside the fabric." Can you relate to that feeling? The truth is that oversized blouses rarely hide the body. Instead, they tend to erase shape altogether, and that can unintentionally add years or make the frame look heavier than it is. Think of it like placing a delicate statue under a heavy sheet. The beauty is still there, but no one can see it. So what is the solution? It is not about squeezing into something too tight. It is about gentle tailoring. A blouse with soft darts or seams can suggest a waist without clinging. A half tuck can create just enough definition to lengthen the legs and restore balance. And if you enjoy looser styles, layering them with a cardigan or blazer adds structure without sacrificing ease. Elegance does not come from hiding. It comes from choosing clothes that respect your natural shape. When you shift from shapeless to softly defined, you will notice that you look lighter, younger, and more confident. And perhaps most important of all, you will feel like yourself again, fully present, no longer lost behind the fabric. Now let us turn to the second mistake, one that often feels cheerful at first glance, but can quietly overwhelm us: overly busy patterns. How many times have you walked into a store and been drawn to a blouse covered in bright florals or bold swirls? It looks fun on the hanger, it feels lively, and maybe it even seems like the safer choice compared to something plain. But have you ever noticed how sometimes, once you put it on, the blouse becomes the main character instead of you? Here is why. Busy patterns compete with the most important feature you have, your face. Instead of drawing the eye upward to your smile and your energy, the eye gets lost in the tangle of color and shapes. Designers call this visual clutter. Psychologists have even studied how too many competing elements confuse the brain. When the eye does not know where to focus, it grows tired. So, if you have ever worn a blouse with 10 different colors and thought, "Why do I look so drained today?" It may not have been your skin or your mood at all. It was the blouse stealing the spotlight. I remember a grandmother at a family reunion who wore a blouse filled with oversized florals in every shade of pink and yellow. She loved it because it seemed festive. But when the photos came back, she looked exhausted, even though she was full of joy that day. The blouse had cast a shadow over her natural glow. She laughed about it later and said, "I think my blouse had more fun than I did." So what should we do instead? Patterns are not the enemy. In fact, they can be elegant when chosen wisely. Look for softer prints, like delicate florals, or gentle polka dots, that add interest without stealing the show. Pay attention to the number of colors. 2 or 3 shades that complement each other create harmony, while 10 clashing tones create chaos. Scale matters as well. Large, bold prints can overpower a smaller frame, while medium or smaller patterns flatter most women. Another tip is placement. Evenly spaced designs or vertical lines can guide the eye upward and create balance. If you love a patterned blouse, let it be the star by keeping the rest of your outfit quiet with neutral pants and simple accessories. Or, if your blouse is soft and subtle, feel free to pair it with bolder jewelry or a colorful scarf. The goal is not to erase your personality. It is to make sure the pattern frames your beauty rather than competing with it. When you learn to edit the prints you wear, you will notice something remarkable. People stop commenting on your clothes and start noticing you. And that, truly, is the power of choosing patterns with intention. The third blouse mistake is one that often goes unnoticed, yet it has one of the most powerful effects on your appearance: the wrong neckline. Have you ever stopped in front of the mirror and wondered why a blouse feels a little off, even when the color is lovely and the fit is right? The answer may not be the blouse itself, but the way the neckline frames your face. Necklines matter more than we realize. They create lines that draw the eye up or down. They affect how long your neck looks, how your shoulders appear, and even how open or closed off your presence feels. Think about it. Your face is always the star of your look. If the neckline is competing with it, the balance is lost. One of the most common issues is the neckline, that is simply too high. A turtleneck or a blouse buttoned all the way to the throat may feel modest, but it can shorten the neck and create the illusion of sloping shoulders. It can even make posture appear heavier. On the other hand, a neckline that plunges too deeply shifts the focus away from the face and toward the chest, which often feels out of place. Neither extreme supports elegance. So what is the solution? Aim for shapes that elongate and open rather than close off. The V-neck is a timeless favorite because it creates a natural vertical line that draws the eye upward, lengthening the neck and slimming the torso without revealing too much. The boat neck is another graceful choice, widening the shoulders just slightly and highlighting the collarbone in a soft, sophisticated way. If you prefer a classic button-down blouse, try leaving the top button or two undone to form a gentle open collar. And for women who like softer lines, a scoop neck works beautifully by opening up the chest area and keeping the look light and fresh. Here is something many women notice once they change their neckline. Their posture improves. A neckline that flatters almost encourages you to stand taller, lift your chin, and meet the world with openness. Have you experienced that feeling when the right blouse makes you walk differently, as if your body naturally carries more confidence? That is not your imagination. That is your clothing working with you instead of against you. The next time you sort through your closet, take a closer look at those blouses. Ask yourself, does this neckline lift my face or cut me off? Does it encourage me to feel open, or does it make me retreat into myself? When the answer feels right, you will see it not only in the mirror, but in the way others respond to your energy. The neckline may seem like a small detail, but it has the power to completely transform your presence. Let us talk about a mistake that often sneaks into our closets because it feels so easy. Clingy fabrics. You know the ones: thin polyester, jersey knits, or synthetic blends that promise comfort but end up wrapping around every curve and crease. At first glance, they seem harmless. They feel lightweight on the hanger and soft against the skin. But have you ever slipped one on and then immediately tugged at it, wondering why it suddenly showed every little line you would rather not highlight? That is the problem with clingy fabrics. Instead of draping gracefully, they grip. They hold on in all the wrong places, tracing folds at the waist, revealing the outline of bra straps, or bunching uncomfortably when you move. Even walking or sitting can feel less flattering because the material does not flow with you. It clings to you. And no matter how much you paid for it, the truth is that these fabrics often look inexpensive once worn. I remember helping a friend prepare for her granddaughter's graduation. She had purchased a blouse in a bright coral shade that looked stunning on the hanger, but once she put it on, her face fell. The blouse clung so tightly across her midsection that she felt exposed rather than confident. She laughed nervously and said, "It is like this blouse is trying to tell my whole life story." We found her another one in a silk blend, and suddenly her posture lifted, her smile returned, and she walked into that ceremony with grace. So, what fabrics should you look for instead? Choose materials that skim rather than cling. Silk or satin blends glide softly over the body. Cotton, sateen, or crisp poplin offer both comfort and structure. Linen blends are breathable and timeless, especially in warmer months. Crepe is another wonderful option, flowing beautifully without sticking to every line. Here is a simple trick I often recommend. Do the drape test before buying. Hold the fabric in your hands and let it fall. If it collapses like plastic wrap, it will cling. If it falls with a gentle wave, it will flatter. High-quality fabrics not only look better, they change how you carry yourself. You stand taller, you feel polished, and others notice the quiet confidence that comes with it. So the next time you are tempted by that stretchy blouse on the rack, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, will this fabric honor me, or will it betray me? When you choose fabrics that move with you instead of against you, you give your natural elegance the freedom to shine. The fifth blouse mistake is one many of us do not recognize until we catch ourselves in the mirror or see an old photo. Outdated details. A blouse can feel timeless when we first buy it, yet over the years, small features begin to reveal its age. Shoulder pads that once gave structure now whisper the 80s. Rows of ruffles and bows may remind us of a different decade. Shiny plastic buttons or heavy embroidery that once seemed fashionable can suddenly make us look as if we are clinging to the past. Have you ever slipped on a blouse you have loved for 20 years and wondered why it suddenly feels wrong? I think of Margaret, a woman I met at a luncheon. She wore a blouse that had been her favorite for years, soft cream with puffed sleeves and decorative buttons. She told me it had traveled with her through countless milestones. Yet as she looked at herself next to her peers, she sighed and admitted, "It makes me feel like I never left the past." The blouse had not changed, but style had moved forward. And that shift affected the way she felt in her own skin. The good news is that you do not need to throw everything away. Outdated details can often be refreshed. If a blouse has bulky shoulder pads, try removing them. If the buttons feel cheap, swap them for pearl, horn, or metal to create instant polish. Ruffles or bows can be balanced with sleek trousers or a structured jacket, turning something overly frilly into a charming accent. Sometimes even rolling cuffs neatly can make a blouse appear more modern. Why does this matter so much? Fashion psychology tells us that simplicity is often linked with modernity. Clean lines signal confidence and freshness, while excessive decoration can give the impression of being stuck. People read these signals, even if they cannot explain why. They may not say it aloud, but they sense whether an outfit feels current or dated. So ask yourself, does this blouse let my presence shine? Or is it weighed down by details from another era? When you learn to edit, you give your elegance space to breathe. Sometimes it is as simple as saying goodbye to a fussy bow, or changing out a row of buttons. The result is a look that feels lighter, fresher, and more in tune with the woman you are today. The sixth blouse mistake is one of those subtle details that can completely change the way we look, even when everything else seems right. Wrong proportions and lengths. It may sound simple, but blouse length is far more important than many women realize, especially as our posture shifts with age. A blouse that is too long can make the legs look shorter, while one that is too short can chop the torso in half and leave the figure looking boxy. Have you ever tried on a tunic and wondered why you suddenly looked heavier, even though nothing else had changed? That is the quiet power of proportion. Our bodies naturally evolve over time. We may gain or lose height, our waistline may shift, or our shoulders may round slightly. When those changes meet a blouse cut to the wrong length, balance is lost. And when balance disappears, even an expensive piece can feel unflattering. I once worked with a petite woman named Carol. She always wore long tunic blouses because she thought they created a flowing line. Instead, they overwhelmed her small frame and made her legs nearly vanish. She looked in the mirror and said, "Why do I seem shorter than I really am?" We tried a mid-hip length blouse, and suddenly her proportions came alive. Her legs looked longer, her waist felt defined, and she walked out of the fitting room smiling with relief. So, how do you know what works best? The sweet spot for most women is a blouse that falls around mid-hip. This length elongates the torso without swallowing your shape. If you enjoy longer tunics, pair them with slim pants or leggings to restore balance. Be cautious with cropped styles, since they can highlight the midsection instead of smoothing it. A half tuck is another simple trick that creates definition at the waist and adds ease at the same time. And do not forget accessories. A belt over a longer blouse or a structured jacket layered on top can bring back harmony in an instant. Think of your outfit like architecture. The blouse is one piece of the structure, and if its length is off, the entire building looks unstable. But when proportions are just right, everything feels harmonious. Your presence looks polished, your silhouette feels balanced, and you appear taller and lighter without changing a single thing about your body. So the next time you stand before your closet, ask yourself a simple question. Does this blouse balance me, or does it throw me off? When the answer feels clear, you will see not just a better outfit, but a more confident version of yourself staring back in the mirror. The seventh blouse mistake may be the most underestimated of all: ignoring the power of color. We often think about style in terms of fit or fabric, yet color is the first thing people notice. It reflects light onto your face, it interacts with your hair, and it shapes how alive or tired you appear before you even say a word. Have you ever loved a blouse in the store, only to put it on at home and notice that it somehow drains you? That is not your imagination. It is the color working against you. As we move through our 60s and beyond, our natural coloring changes. Hair that was once dark may soften to silver or white. Skin that was once rich in tone can become lighter, sometimes with cooler undertones. Lips may lose some of their natural pigmentation. These are not losses, they are simply changes, and they open the door to different shades that can lift us more than before. The trouble comes when we keep reaching for the same colors we wore in our 30s or 40s. What once made us look vibrant may now wash us out. I remember attending a reunion where two women stood side by side. One wore a beige blouse, so close to her skin tone that she seemed to fade into the background. The other wore a teal blouse that made her eyes sparkle and her complexion glow. People kept telling her how radiant she looked, while the first woman quietly asked later, "Why does everyone look brighter than I do today?" It was not her spirit or her smile that had dulled. It was simply the choice of color. So, how can we use color to our advantage? Start with neutrals. Pure black and stark white can feel harsh against softer skin tones, yet off-white, ivory, light gray, or warm beige can flatter beautifully. Jewel tones are another secret weapon. Emerald green, sapphire blue, deep teal, and burgundy bring energy to the face and work especially well with silver hair. Soft pastels like lavender, rose pink, or sky blue can create a gentle glow without looking faded. And of course, we should be cautious with muddy shades. Dull olives, dusty browns, or yellowish grays often make us appear more tired than we are. Here is a simple practice. Hold a blouse under your chin in front of a mirror. Does your skin look brighter, or does it seem shadowed? Do your eyes appear clearer, or do they lose their sparkle? The blouse is telling you whether it is a friend or a foe. Another helpful clue is mood. Have you noticed that certain colors lift your spirits the moment you put them on? That is not just emotional, it is physiological. Studies show that color affects perception and even energy levels. When you wear colors that flatter, you not only look better, you feel better. Color is not about strict rules. It is about harmony between who you are now and what you wear. When you honor the shifts in your natural palette, you give yourself permission to evolve with grace. Ask yourself, does this blouse reflect the vitality I feel inside, or does it cast a shadow over it? The right answer will often shine back at you in the mirror. So the next time you reach for that safe beige top or that black blouse you have kept for decades, pause for a moment. Try a soft ivory, a rich teal, or a lively rose instead. Notice how people respond to you, how your own reflection feels kinder, and how your confidence grows without a word being spoken. That is the true power of color. It does not just sit on fabric. It breathes life into the woman wearing it. We have walked together through 7 blouse mistakes that many women over 60 unknowingly make. Oversized and shapeless fits that hide more than they flatter. Busy patterns that compete with your face instead of enhancing it. Necklines that cut you off when they should be lifting you. Fabrics that cling in the wrong places rather than flowing with ease. Outdated details that quietly signal another decade. Lengths that throw off proportion and make the body feel unbalanced. And finally, colors that either wash away your radiance or bring it to life. Perhaps as you listened, 1 or 2 of these felt very familiar. Maybe you remembered a blouse in your closet that no longer makes you feel the way it once did. Or perhaps you thought of a time when you caught your reflection and wondered, why do I seem less vibrant today? The answer is often simpler than we think. It is not about you losing your spark. It is about the blouse not serving you as it should. Let me remind you of something important. It is not about the blouse, it is about the woman wearing it. A blouse is just fabric, but the way it frames you, supports you, and reflects your energy can make all the difference. When you choose well, you allow your natural beauty and your confidence to shine without effort. Style at 60 and beyond is not about rules, restrictions, or trying to look like someone else. It is about freedom. It is about choosing clothes that honor who you are now, not who you once were or who others expect you to be. It is about confidence, the kind that comes from knowing you deserve to be seen in your best light. And it is about joy, because fashion at this stage of life should feel less like a burden and more like a celebration. So, I want to thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for reflecting on your own journey and for reminding yourself that beauty does not fade with age. It deepens. Every line on your face tells a story of laughter and strength. Every choice you make now can be one of elegance, confidence, and grace. You are living proof that style has no expiration date. If this conversation spoke to you, please take a moment to like this video. Share a comment below, whether it is your age, your city, a personal story, or simply a number 1 to let me know you are here. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly time together. Until next time, stay confident, stay radiant, and remember that the most elegant outfit you can ever wear is your authentic self. Hello there. If you enjoy gentle conversations, thoughtful reflections, and inspiring ideas about beauty, elegance, and growing into yourself after 50, then our community posts are just for you. This is where we share quiet thoughts, helpful tips, and simple reminders that you are not alone on this journey. Feel free to join the discussion, leave a comment, or simply read along and take what speaks to your heart. We're always happy to have you here.